we do have like 2 questions here. If you got 5 more minutes, is that okay, Cecile? Okay. So from, let's see, Terry, you were asking, if you want to go ahead and just ask your question, that would be good. Can you unmute yourself?
Cecile, again, I actually had 2 questions. The first one is advertising and how all this plays a role. Obviously, Facebook, Google, they want to keep people on their page. And so they're showing their advertisers or, maybe reader identified type things. But how does that affect your local advertisers? When people get their news on Facebook, are your local advertisers taking a hit from that?
I'm not sure this is what you're after, but I'll tell you an interesting story because, we have our premium advertisers on our website, which are on that right-hand side. And we have 15 to 18 advertisers that rotate in their clickable ads. And then we also have the Friends to Follow widget on our page. Right. And it's been really interesting. The Rooted Home, which was just up there a moment ago, she is a younger gal who has made Facebook her advertising engine, but she's doing something really smart because she's not ignoring newspapers.
Yeah, nice.
And the program that we have to help her is very beneficial in that she does Facebook Lives all the time. Okay. And so when she's doing a Facebook Live, if somebody's on our page and there's somebody actually doing video within that Friends to Follow widget, they're clicking on it. She got...
this is video show up here?
Yeah. So if there's a Facebook Live, if she's broadcasting live on Facebook, it shows in that widget and people are drawn in by that. So she gets 5, 6, 7 times as many clicks as people who don't do that. Right. And she's been so successful at it that I've actually suggested to her that, you should do a seminar for the other advertisers, about how you're being so successful with this. And, really, it probably wouldn't be to her advantage because she's just in competition with those 15 other people that are in there.
Right.
So I think the smart advertiser, the smart local advertiser, just like the newspapers do, we try to use all the tools in the tool chest. So she's doing print ads, she's doing our web ad, and she's in the Friends to Follow so that she's trying to catch people, however she can. And she's being very successful at it. And it's great that we have the analytics from you guys, both on the web ads to show her how many clicks she's getting there, as well as in the Friends to Follow. And so here again, it's like conundrum. Facebook has provided us another thing, we are actually making money because people are paying to be in that.
Right.
But it's like, we're making pennies. I mean, we're making very little on that, but it's something. And it's also beneficial to our advertisers.
Right. Yeah, I remember the way you put that very clearly. And we love Friends to Follow. Reinig, actually, I live in the same town as Reinig now, as a total coincidence. And tons of our customers are using this. It is a good option to make money off Facebook, as you once put it. It's the one way that really newspapers can make money off Facebook today.
But it's so, for a small town, I mean, I really feel like what the value in it is that I have limited it to such a few, such a small number of people. Because if I went out and sold, $99 Friends to Follow ads to everyone in town, and suddenly we had 50 people showing up in this widget, it would be just like Facebook.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then you kind of get washed out, and that's the problem that they're facing when they do it just natively on Facebook. And so, your pitch is really good. It's kind of, it's similar to what we were saying about the newspapers earlier, that they cannot just do one type of communication. You know, it's got to be kind of all across platforms, print, newsletter, and website at a minimum, I think, and Facebook in almost every market is going to be the majority of the social media traffic.
Right.
But for advertisers as well, yeah, go ahead, you know, put your stuff on Facebook, but just realize that it's their algorithm that determines who sees your stuff. And you have no way of getting that to every one of your followers. So why don't you go with something that's more guaranteed, put it on our page, either as a display ad or friends to follow or a print ad, and we'll, you know, guarantee that our audience is going to actually see that.
Yeah. And I just hope people figure it out before we're gone. You know, I mean, we're not, I hate to be such a downer, but we small town community media organizations are really just getting by, and we just want to be here tomorrow. And people don't realize the risk of what they stand to lose if our page isn't there and if our newspaper isn't there.
Right.
And all they have is Facebook, because then they truly are at the mercy of someone who doesn't give a rip about who they are.
Right, right. Wow. Well, that's a good way to kind of end it. I almost think that's, I mean, the message I would take away from this, you vote, you know, there's a saying, you vote with your dollars. I mean, that applies to Amazon and things like that, the other big tech companies infringing on small towns and small town business, but you vote with your attention too. And so just being, and that's
exactly.
Attention, time equals money. And so now I think this article is really important. And I hope that other publishers will make similar commentaries and observations to their readers, because it's like, you know, we want you coming to our site. Ideally, you would just type in journaltrib.com and just come straight here, you know? And so to train people to do that, to explain to them it is different than just Googling or looking at our teasers on in your news feed, actually clicking through and obviously paying for full access is it's all the difference in the world, you know, to just being a fan on Facebook. It's really, it means nothing. There's no value there. Okay, so we're just about out of time. And Cecile, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I really appreciate you talking with us today. This was fascinating. I feel like maybe we can have another group conversation, get other publishers interested in this topic in the future, and have you back on. I'd really love to explore this further, because it's going to be a whole different story in another week. It's constantly evolving.
Let's hope the U.S. makes some headway in coming up with our own legislation and passing something like Australia has.
Right. Yeah, we're going to continue to keep an eye on it. There's other countries that are doing similar things, less in the spotlight than Australia, and we're talking about them in our office hours. So, we'll keep following the story and continue to enjoy working with you, Cecile. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.